Welcome to Wicks Way, and today we have a car that just happens to be the fastest four-door production vehicle around the Nürburgring. Say hello to the 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. And it's a funny story about how it's the fastest car around the Nürburgring. They originally came out with a time of 7:39, and it was with a 6-speed standard. A few months later, Porsche comes out with a Panamera turbo and beats it by 1 second, 7 minutes, 38. Then Alfa Romeo, shortly thereafter, says, we must have forgot. This is the time with the automatic. And they beat it by 6 seconds around a 12-mile track. 7 minutes and 32 seconds. That's untouchable. That'll be there for years. And driving it now, it really shows just how they did it. I'm gonna go over the interior very quickly because I really don't feel like talking about it. What I do want to talk about is the performance. So anyways, seats, very comfortable. AMG seats maybe a little bit better, but that's it really. The center screen, I love. M3 and the C63, the new ones, it's like IKEA built it and they just threw an iPad up top. It looks terrible. This, how it's integrated into the dash line, is brilliant. I like the way the gauges look. I love the steering wheel. I mean, really, the interior of this car, it's covered in carbon fiber as well. It's a really nice looking interior. So, enough about that. Performance. This has an active front spoiler. And what that means is whenever you're in dynamic or race mode and you go into a corner above, I believe, 60 or 62 miles an hour, the front splitter actually deploys down to giving you more downforce, giving you more grip with the Pirelli P0s, which seem to find every rock within a 5-mile radius. Seats don't really hold you in place as well as I'd hope, but these are the just the normal seats. They do have racing carbon fiber seats as well as an option, and carbon ceramics. And the brakes have to be fly-by-wire, which is kind of scary whenever you come up to a stop sign, but here it's doing its job pretty well. Each time it shifts up, it sounds like a 12 gauge popping off a round at some zombies. Oh my God, the exhaust is amazing. Just listen. And the story behind the Quadrifoglio, well, I know the story, but my voice doesn't sound as good, so I'll just have someone else explain it. His voice sounds better, so he's just gonna explain it.
It does. So the Quadrifoglio Verde, AMG, cool, the guy's last name, a guy's last name, and where one of the guys was born, BMW Motorsport. So there's a story behind the badge. A racing driver for Alfa Romeo in the early 20s. His name was Ugo Savocci. Now Savocci, he was notorious for getting second place. He had terrible luck. And one day he painted a white square on his car with the 4-leaf clover in the middle for good luck. He won that race. It was the 1923 Targa Florio. Then about 3 months later, so this was actually very shortly after, he was testing the new P1 car at Monza. In testing, they didn't have time to put it on the car. They said, just go. We'll get it on before the race. He went, he crashed, and tragically passed away. In his honor, Alfa changed it from 4 points to 3, symbolizing the loss of Savocci.
Right.
And from there on after, that symbol has been on every Alfa Romeo race car. But what that symbolizes is the highest performance variant of an Alfa Romeo model.
Right.
So notice the 4C. They may still be thinking about it because there's not a badge on that car. That's not the highest performance variant that it will ever be. Yeah. This decidedly is.
I mean, Miata's a pretty tough competitor with the 4C. Thank you, Dane.
Not a problem, man.
And as far as competitors with the Giulia, there's the BMW M3, there's the C63, and the Cadillac ATS-V. And as far as competitors go, the M3, well, they've been riding that M badge pretty hard these days. And the C63, that's not really a track car, just slides everywhere. So the only real contender is an ATS-V. What? Oh, for Christ's sake. And I've got an ATS-V now hot on my tail. So, let's see if we can lose the Americans, shall we? I'm serious, the only car that can compete with this is the Cadillac ATS-V. The ATS-V does have less power. It's not as comfortable as a ride in the corners, but it still has the same sort of characteristics with it. The steering on the ATS is much heavier. This one's a little bit lighter, but even though it's lighter, it's still quite precise, as you can see from that. It's very, very Ferrari-esque, because Ferraris have very, very sensitive steering, very good turn-in cars, and this is a phenomenal, this is more of an exit car than an entry car, because the exits are like going into a wormhole of time and space. Oh, that ATS-V is coming on hot. Oh, it's coming on hot. I seem to be leaving him pretty hard in the corners. He seems to be struggling every time I look back and I'm on the exit. I'm nice and planted and he's kind of getting somewhat squirrely. But that could come down to tires. I believe that one has 4,000 miles on it. I'm not necessarily saying it's been the most comfortable 4,000 miles for those tires either. As far as the straightaways, I don't really know this car that well to be completely punching it all the way through. I'm kind of gradual with the speed, but I will say, even then, that ATS-V is keeping up very, very, very closely. Because really what it would come down to, as far as like what's the best handling car, it's either what's directly on my tail, kind of getting squirrely back there a little bit, which I'm kind of feel like I should maybe back off. I'm kind of sorry. You know what? I think the Giulia may have him. I think the Giulia is a better handling car. From the way his reactions are, whenever he's coming out of the exit, for example, take a look. A little squirrely. That's it. The ATS-V can't keep up in the corners. What do you know? Take it out of dynamic, put it into normal, and it's completely at peace and content. This thing will do 26 miles to the gallon. Isn't that astonishing? And Ferrari touched this engine. The saddest part is that the staple of Alfa Romeo in the United States, when they were here a few decades ago, they didn't leave a very good impression on people. Cars would always break down. You know, it's the Alfa way. You're not a true petrolhead unless you have an Alfa, because you need to know how to fix a car. But I think that might just go away with this. I'm driving one now that has almost 4,000 miles on it, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I know it's only the first 4,000, but usually there's something within that time, especially with a car that's brand new. And especially this one, because it was the very first sold from a dealer, Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. I'm not kidding, the entire time, this is extremely comfortable. Like, I am completely at peace. My body is not having to deal with the torture I'm putting this car through at all. It's just fine. I can see why Clarkson loves this car so much, and I'm completely infatuated with it. And I'm not trying to agree with him because it is Clarkson, but just the fact that it's real, it's so good. I mean, there has to be something wrong. Like this is one of those things where it's like too good to be true. I mean, yes, the fact that you can't see at all out of the left side is quite a large factor, but there's something that sucks. I mean, you could say, you know, oh, well, it's safety, but it's not even that, because I've seen pictures of this car already wrecked, all the press cars. One of them nailed a guardrail at 55, and it looked like it just hit it at 15 miles an hour. And whenever you close the doors, it feels solid. I mean, I daily drive a Volvo, and of course those doors feel solid because, well, you batten down the hatches, it's a tank. This feels very close to it. It's very solid. I mean, that's the only word I can come up with it, is that it is solid. Everything about this car is solid. The transmission, it's the ZF 8-speed, and its shifts are so quick, it's so precise. There's no lag either whenever you're going for it. There's so much hype behind this car, but does it live up to it? I'm not gonna joke around with you. This is living up to every part and more. As far as the exterior goes, yes, the front end does look kind of cross-eyed and kind of googly-eyed, but everything back looks really good. I would probably change the wheels, and that is it. Pros and cons of the best car ever made. Pro, it's the best car ever made. Con, it doesn't have a heads-up display. The other pro is that it sounds absolutely amazing. Con, there's a huge blind spot because of this pillar. Another pro is it actually doesn't get that bad of fuel mileage. That wraps up our review of the 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. So if you've enjoyed watching that, please like, share, subscribe, all the usual things we ask you to do. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Drive Tribe, and subscribe, and subscribe, and subscribe to see more amazing cars driven by me, because you, for some reason, want to watch that happen. Oh my God. All right, guys, I gotta go. Thanks. Bye.